need to pay Gary to get a new intro. Welcome, everyone, to the notes for the show. Welcome, everyone, to the first ever Sports Mag Sports Desk. Thanks, Matt.
Nailed it, mate. No, do you know what? I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to learn more about different sports because there's a lot going on in the world that I didn't realise, mate. But I'm excited to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me. I appreciate it,
mate. So this is going to be a new weekly show, only a half hour, 45 minutes. We're just going to rack through some weird, wonderful sports that have been going on and weird and wonderful sports news. So, like, I always remember the days of, like, Church Football League when you'd find a team that won 17-0.
Sunday League football was always elite, like it just was. You know, I mean, to be fair, I never played it, but I always went to go and watch my brother play in his football leagues, and it would always be you'd either come home from a 7-0 win or a 7-0 loss. There was never a crisp 1-1 draw. You know, like someone was getting spanked. That just always seemed to be the way it was.
Dog shit on the field of play, and someone. I mean,
absolutely. The crowd is more dog than people. Referees getting abused. Like that was always, I feel like, my biggest takeaway from Sunday League football. It did not matter if the game was just a Sunday League thing that had no relevance to life. Like whether you're refereeing Chelsea Arsenal on a Saturday afternoon or some parents' kids' Sunday League game, you will get an equal amount of abuse. Like, good Lord, parents get passionate over their kids' football games, don't they?
Best Sunday League football instance. So I was a referee. Best Sunday football instance I had was I was refereeing a game, two teams that hated each other near the top of the league. Called the game off after 45 minutes because it was just a full-on brawl between two benches. So I just went, done.
We're done with this, yeah.
After watching me absolutely ruin the game of football and, do you know what I mean, whatever, two teams then cleared off the pitch. Another game that was going on over the other side of the field, manager ran over to me and went, do you fancy reffing our game? Because our ref didn't turn up. So then I went and ref their game.
What? So hang on, what were they doing before this? Were they just cracking on like without a ref? What was the?
Yeah, they just had a volunteer referee, and they were like, "I've seen your game's been abandoned, mate. I know you've just had a 22-man brawl, but would you mind refereeing our game?"
Yeah, I promise it's not quite that bad. Would you please just come and do us a solid, please? I promise we'll try not to fight each other. Amazing. Wow. Yeah, because I know my dad used to do some refereeing. Actually, fun fact, to be fair. So when my brother did play Sunday League football, he was a defender, so he didn't score a lot of goals. I think he only scored maybe 2. But the funniest thing was the first goal my brother ever scored, my dad was refereeing that game and he had to disallow the goal for offside. So one of my brother's only 2 Sunday League football goals was disallowed by his own dad, which I think if that's not the definition of the word peak, I don't really know what is. I think that's it's a tough stitch for old
I can go another one deeper than that as well, mate. I sent my brother off.
Oh, Alex, you must not have been a popular boy that evening.
I was not a popular boy in the family WhatsApp group.
He
did stamp on a player.
So it's not that he didn't do it. Was that just like a power move over your brother? Like just remember on the referee here, kid. You remember who's got the power in this situation? He's like,
he was my older brother, so it was
there you go. That's.
I did ask for his name as well, just for the sheer kicks of it. I did say, "What's your neck?"
Yeah. So what are the rules? If you're actually carding someone, do they genuinely? Do you have to write who's on a yellow card so that you remember it? Is that the?
Yeah, pretty much. You meant to write and the offence.
Fantastic. I would love nothing more than to write on a red card that my brother's gone. That is what a power move that is. I love it.
Done. This is not where I expected the show to go, but brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
Yeah, why not? Look, Roth, we've had a quick discussion before this kicked off. There was never really like too set of a plan. So we've had some banter. We've got the audience are hooked, probably.
They're already tuning in for the second show. Pressing refresh.
Come on, now they've got the alarms set already. They're ready to go, mate.
So this show will be looking at weird and wonderful sports, and Matty's been looking into it. So, and I think I'm going to put you on the spot here, Matty. What is Matty's sport of the week?
My sport of the week. There have been some good ones. So I'll give some honourable mentions. So if anyone listening likes the game of hockey, fair enough. It's quite a competitive game. Why not play underwater? Underwater hockey is a thing, 6v6. It's exactly the same as regular hockey, but the puck is just on the floor of a pool. So, I mean, I'm assuming people have to come up for water. Yeah, there you go. Players have to hold their breath underwater and therefore have to periodically return to the surface to breathe. They don't even have scuba gear. So I'm assuming your communication with your team has to be on point. Who's going up? Who's coming down? Madness. That seems like far too much coordination for someone like me.
What are you doing like mid-shot though? Like generally mid-shot, you need to come up for it. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that must be hard to like coordinate. You know, like I mean, I feel like again, like to bring up football as an example, like if you're gonna do the old like switch it, you're literally shouting to your team on the other side, like switch it, and they're like, okay, I know what's happening now. What are you doing on the wheel? Oh yeah, cool. That means yeah, right on it. I'm
Jimmy wants the ball.
On my way to the back stick. Yeah, I don't know, mate.
I need to look into this referee malarkey of underwater hockey. I'm like, how's that? How's the referee?
Is that the next venture? I've had enough of 22 men brawls. There's only 12 people in underwater hockey, and they'll be underwater. So how bad can it possibly get?
Good venture. I like it, mate.
Yeah, there's some good ones. Ear pull is also a good one. It's an Inuit game where there is essentially two people facing off against each other with elastic bands around their ears, and they just pull them apart. That is essentially how that goes. Obviously, the pain will just get stronger and stronger as your ears are slowly getting pulled from your head. That doesn't sound particularly fun. Last honorable mention, just because this sounds like one I might actually be good at. It's called death diving. Now I know that sounds quite sinister. I promise it is not quite as bad as it sounds. It does sound pretty painful. It's a Norwegian diving sport where you essentially have to dive off a diving board, but instead of doing fancy flips and stuff, you just have to pull a pose in midair and hold it for as long as you are brave enough to hold it, which of course leads to some pretty nasty belly flops or landing flat on your back, hence why it's called death diving. Because I don't know if anyone's had any experience of doing that in pools, but Lord, that is not a comfortable experience. I feel like that's one thing that everyone's done at least once, right? Like we've all gone for a jump that's not.
But do you not feel as a child it never hurt, but then when you do get to like kind of like mid-teenagers, it starts to hurt?
I think it's just when you're a kid, you're just not afraid of anything, are you? So you just do it, and you're like, "That's funny." Like, let's do it again. Whereas now, you know, I'm 26. I'm getting a bell for this. If I land on my back funny, I'll be off work. I can't be off work. I can't afford that. You know, like it's all perspective, Alec. That's all it is. Yeah, you don't notice it when you're a kid, do you? You don't. But yeah, sport of the week. I know we've had a brief chat about this before we came live. This is excellent. So, just like in a lot of things, Japan has taken things to a weirder level that I never saw coming. Now, the sport is known as Bo Teoshi, and it's a Japanese sport which is kind of similar to capture the flag, but not really at all. If you thought NFL teams were big, Bo Teoshi teams are a little bit bigger. It's 150 versus 150 that consists of 75 attackers and 75 defenders. Yeah, that's what we're up to next, mate. If the Conference League doesn't go well, we're lodging a Bo Teoshi team. So essentially, each team has a nice big long vertical pole. So you've got 75 people defending yours and 75 people attacking the other teams. Once the pole is 35 degrees from vertical, your team will lose. So keep your pole upright, I guess is the point. It does continue to say, once the game starts, attackers charge towards the opponent's pole in waves. Some hit the defensive wall, while others use their backs as springboards to propel their teammates over the wall and closer to the pole. Bo Teoshi is extremely violent as players attack and defend the pole by wrestling, kicking, and punching. Injuries are very common. It's also used as a way to train Japan's National Defense Academy. So, to top it off, usually the whole thing takes 90 seconds to 2 minutes before a draw is declared. So after all of that absolute savagery, sometimes there's just not even a winner, which I feel like
it's wrong. Oh, sorry,
kind of makes it even worse. Like, right, okay, listen, how many men you got left standing? Got about 60. We got about 55. It's not looking good. Should we just call it a draw? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So Japan takes the biscuit. I mean, what a sport! That sounds incredible.
I do like the fact that you'd never get that in the UK because it'd just be like, I haven't got enough St John's ambulance to be available on the day. So yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry guys. There's a North London derby up in summer. We cannot spare the ambulances today. I'm really sorry. Knickers maybe next week. Yeah, it would never happen, and horribly impractical. Like, have you ever been in a WhatsApp group trying to organize a meetup between like 3 people? Could you imagine trying to get 300 people in the same place at the same time? Yeah, literally. Sunday league football teams struggle to get 11 people to turn up for a Sunday. Could you imagine? Being like, right, team captain is like, right, oh crap, what do you reckon the other 149 are doing today? They're all busy.
You chuff it into WhatsApp, true.
Must be a nightmare. So yes, Bo Teoshi. If anyone wants to do some reading about a sport that sounds genuinely quite feral, then do. I'm not gonna lie. I think my mission after this might be to just see if I can get some clips of this sport being. I don't know if played is the right word. I'm not gonna lie.
I am having a quick look, and it looks good, mate. I feel that
all the endorsement I need. That's all I need.
I feel any sport where there's more people than spectators is a sport I like. So
that is, I had not thought of that angle, but yeah, I don't know how big the audience for Bo Teoshi is. I can't help but imagine if it was a thing here, that'd be quite incredible. Like, could you imagine? I don't know, like the Slough versus I don't know where else is a bit rough. This is probably kind of mean, but like Slough versus Skegness away or something. Like that'd be feral.
I feel also this needs to be like rolled out as an Olympic sport, and they just it's just random. You get a letter through your door. Oh, you've been picked for the UK GB Bo Teoshi, and you just
it's like jury service. You just get
that's it. Yeah. And you just get 70 odd random people turn up to play.
Right, listen,
have 2 weeks to learn.
You've got 2 options. You can either sit in court for a week or spend 2 minutes of your life getting absolutely pummeled by 74 other people. What are you saying?
I think it'd work.
I think so. I can't see how that could possibly go wrong.
No, I'm in, Pat. I like it, mate. I like it. Me, mate, did a bit of research. I've got 2 for you, pal.
Okay, hit me.
And I know one I dropped you and you were quite shocked at. So, did you know that there is a World Cup coming up soon?
I see. Oh, I thought there was a World Cup quite recently, wasn't there?
There was, but did you know there's a World Cup coming in Tunbridge Wells?
See, now that is where you lose me. As I'm sure Tunbridge Wells is a magnificent place, but of all the places I would not assume to host a World Cup, that would be it. Please do go on.
Could I say it is a football World Cup as well?
Lionel Messi turning up to Tunbridge Wells.
So this one took me. So I was looking at championship games and things, competitions that are coming up soon, and there is a Subbuteo World Cup.
I love everything about this. Like Subbuteo was always one of those games that I know it was one of those things that I think got big when my mum was younger. And I remember when I told her when I first discovered it, I was like, this looks sick. I was like, Mum, I want this. She was like, is Subbuteo even still a thing? I was like, hell yeah, it's thriving. I want it. But yeah, I didn't realize it was thriving to the point of having a World Cup. That was more than I was prepared for.
It has a World Cup. It's had previous World Cups as well. And they have countries generally from across the world, as you would expect in a World Cup. I'm talking Scotland, I'm talking Italy, I'm talking France, I'm talking Spain, I'm talking Belgium, I'm talking Greece, I'm talking Switzerland, I'm talking Portugal.
Wow, we really are talking a good reach. I thought, I'm not going to lie, when you said we got countries from across the world and started with Scotland, I thought we might be in trouble here. That's not that's not that far away. But he's on a roll here. I don't want to ruin it for him. It seems like he's having a moment. But wow, okay, that's more people taking part than I thought you were going to come out with.
So the World Cup is taking place Tunbridge Wells from Friday the 20th to Sunday the 22nd. So a lovely weekend to take the missus away to Tunbridge Wells and go, do you know what I fancy doing for the weekend, love? A bit of spectating of Subbuteo.
I again, similarly to the conscription for the old Japanese sports, I do not see how this could possibly go wrong. I think you'd be in there like swimwear if that was your pitch. I think, come on now. Who's going to say no to that? You kidding me? No one.
So around 32 countries are expected to represent at their international event.
Oh my God.
I couldn't find a full list of confirmed people, which I kind of did. Do you know what I mean? I did do my research of all of 2 hours this afternoon, but I am determined to keep this show going, and I am determined to get someone on the show that is competing in the World Cup to explain a little bit more about Subbuteo World Cup in the next few weeks.
Mate, excellent effort. I do have questions, and I suppose the person to ask these questions to would be someone competing in said World Cup if that happens. But moreover, how does one go about getting selected for the like you are going to be representing us at the Subbuteo World Cup? Like, I'm sure there's obviously some. Oh, hello, this looks like a man who knows.
So that I looked into this. And there is an English championship circuit that goes around the UK that you can compete in.
My
God. And it generally does go. So these have been going on since October last year, and they will continue to go through as well to June 2025.
This is genuinely blowing my mind. Like I'm on the website right now, just looking at all of the different Subbuteo clubs. There's so many. Like I didn't realize it was actually like this.
It's like a proper sport.
This much of a community. Yeah, like that's mad.
And so therefore I put my vote down that this should be an Olympic sport.
I think so. This is the first episode of this show, and we've come across 2 new Olympic sports already, mate. We are. I fear we may be progressing too quickly, Alec. Where do we go from here?
I just feel like this is a sport that anyone could play. Do you know, you kind of like bow tie issue? I do feel like you might have to have a certain criteria of fitness, agileness.
That does feel like it might be hard persuading people to play with you as well, right? Like if I don't know if it's like just like a solos thing when you're playing Subbuteo for your country, but even if it's right, mate. Listen, I'm thinking of taking up a new sport, and I'd like you to play with me. Does that sound cool? Yeah, all right, good, mate. What do you have in mind? Right, we can either play Subbuteo, just like the little plastic fellas with the balls, yeah, or we can just get beaten up for a couple of minutes. Yeah, okay. I know which one I would rather volunteer myself for.
I'm just game for this. I think it's a great. I can't believe there's a World Cup that's happening in Tunbridge Wells that's not being covered live by the BBC.
Yeah, where's there's Sky Sports Football, Sky Sports NFL, Sky Sports Action, Sky Sports Tennis. Where's Sky Sports Subbuteo? Come on, man.
Yeah. And I will be shedding light on this. So before the World Cup, I will try and get someone on.
This is unreal. I actually genuinely cannot wait to follow this and see where this goes. I want to know if we're any good at it. This feels like the kind of thing that England should be good at, right? Surely.
It's in Tunbridge Wells. We've got home field advantage.
Yeah, we've got home field advantage. Come on now. Can other countries do it on a rainy night in Tunbridge Wells? That's the question.
So, and then the other one. Are you a fan of Football Manager? So I stumbled across this one as well. Are you a fan of Football Manager?
Yeah, I've got a bit of a funny Football Manager anecdote. Anyone that was listening to the Let the Mayhem Begin show knows this. But yeah, I've played a bit of it whilst I was streaming on Twitch. Let's just leave it at that. Otherwise, I feel like I will take an age to explain. I have played some Football Manager. I'm absolutely dreadful at it, but I love the idea of it. Yes.
Did you know that you could win £100,000?
What, from playing Football Manager?
Football Manager in the FIFA E World Cup of Football Manager that is taking place today till the 1st of September.
You are kidding me on this. Sorry, what?
So this is taking place. And do you know Ruud Gullit?
I am. Yes, I'm familiar with some of his work.
He is the Football Manager FIFA E representation for the game as the league ambassador, and this is going on right now.
Oh my God, it is! Yeah, I'm just like, what the hell? What? There's merch and everything. That's how you know it's official. They've got yeah, all of the FIFA partners are listed. Like this is a serious thing. This isn't just like a little land pie that someone has set up. This is a serious jobby.
The bit I struggle with is, I don't know about you, Matty, but I'm very much in favour of Football Manager. Quit, save game, reboot, play the final again.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, never made it that far. When I was playing it on Twitch, we didn't take it terribly seriously. I obviously, with the help of my chat, they helped me design and make all the decisions, which always a terrible idea. All I remember is I took charge of Forest Green Rovers, had a rather large manager with a neon yellow suit, and I stormed out of every single press conference I turned up for. So my Football Manager experience is limited, to say the least, I think. So I'm assuming these people might be better at it than I am.
Yeah, there must be a criteria. I need to do some more digging on this one. But what did strike me as what do you reckon the longest time of someone playing Football Manager in one go?
Oh, Lord. What, just in like one
sitting
non-stop session? Okay. Oh, this feels like it's going to be something really stupid. Let's go for 2 days. Surely no one is... Oh, no. Oh, no.
Close, mate. I'll give you that. 50 hours, 8 minutes and 13 seconds.
Good God. Again, I've done 24-hour Twitch streams, and as soon as you press that end live button, you're going to bed. You've packed it in. You're done. How is anyone, even if you enjoy Football Manager to the ends of the earth, how are you putting in 50 hours in a row? That's ridiculous.
But again, did you know? Again, a sport that you can just sit there. I think esports is going to be the craze, mate.
Yeah, I think esports is definitely growing, and like I won't lie, it's definitely something I'm into. But I get what you mean. I'm all for this, watching a sport that you kind of sit at home and you think, yeah, I could do that. Like this is my, like we've quite recently had the Olympics, and I love the Olympics because you end up watching sports that you never even realized were sports. Like I knew obviously people were pretty good at like BMXing and stuff. Watching people do that was wicked, but at the same time, like I could literally never do that. But my biggest one, which I know is not a very unknown sport. How do people get into pole vaulting? Like, how do you look at someone doing that and you're like, yeah, that's it. That's the one, mum. This one. This is the sport I want to do. Like, because I have many questions.
The one question also to that is, do you imagine like, Dad, I want to get into pole vaulting. Where am I going to store your pole vault?
That's true. Yeah, these things don't just clip down. They're big boys. They don't just, oh well, yeah, we'll just fold that one up. No, it's a thick pole. Like I was listening to another podcast, and they were like, yeah, they have to like carry their, they take their own individual poles on the planes with them. Like, what? I know planes are big, but like, where are they storing these poles? Like, does it
you imagine
just go like hand luggage overhead? Yeah. Did you pack your luggage yourself? It's just a big stick, mate. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Why?
Running girls. So that's what you can expect from the Sports Desk, a weekly babble of sports information, sports news, and hopefully a couple of guests as we stumble around the sports news that you didn't know you needed to hear and that you definitely didn't know about.
Yeah, I think now we've started. I'm excited for this. I did not realize quite how silly this was going to get, but I cannot wait to be kept up to date with the latest in the Subbuteo World Cup. That's the peak of my existence now.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that button, and we will be downloading these onto Spotify. Again, there will only be 25 minutes, half hour, 40 minutes tops of just top headline, us chatting absolute rubbish about sports that you didn't know existed, and a bit of news dribbled in there as well. Matty, thank you very much.
No worries, mate. I'm sure I'll be speaking to you very soon.
Definitely. Appreciate it.
Yeah.